Hello and welcome to grammar class. In today's video, I am going to explain the meaning and usage of the idiom so much so that. Well, the expression so much so that means to such a large degree or extent that. Now, obviously, this is the dictionary meaning of the idiom so much so that. But more importantly, how do we use this idiom in a sentence? You see, when we make a certain statement and want to indicate that the statement is largely true with an example, we use the expression so much so that before citing the example in the second or subsequent clause or sentence. In short, we use so much so that in order to justify a statement with an example. Now I am going to give you some examples of how the idiom so much so that is used in sentences. Now look at the first sentence on your screen. He helped me a lot, so much so that he even gave me food and shelter. Here the first clause, he helped me a lot, contains a general statement. But the speaker wants to vindicate his statement with an example. And for this purpose, he uses the idiom so much so that before the second clause that contains his example. So much so that he even gave me food and shelter. This is the example of how he helped me a lot. This example justifies that the speaker's first statement was true. Now look at the next example. He became very anxious about losing his job. So much so that he stopped eating and sleeping in time. See here, we are using a comma after the first clause and before the expression so much so that. Here too, the speaker makes a general statement in the first clause. He became very anxious about losing his job. You see, the speaker is talking about someone's extreme anxiety and justifying his statement with an example after using so much so that. So much so that he stopped eating and sleeping in time. The example cited in the second clause after so much so that indicates that the statement contained in the first clause is true to a large extent. The fog was too dense, so much so that many flights had to be cancelled. Now here is a statement about a dense fog in the first clause. The speaker uses the expression so much so that after the foregoing statement to justify the truth of the statement with an example. The example was that many flights had to be cancelled. In this way, the idiom so much so that simply means to such a large extent that. But in all these examples, we notice that the idiom so much so that always occurs after the first clause, that is, in the middle of the sentence. However, it is possible to use so much so that at the beginning of a sentence in certain cases. For example, when a statement is made in a separate sentence, when the context is mentioned in a separate sentence, we carry it forward by using so much so that at the beginning of the following sentence. The example of justification comes in the subsequent sentence and not in the second clause of the same sentence. For example, she is terrified of cockroaches, so much so that she starts screaming and jumping if she happens to see one. In this example, the first sentence presents a statement of someone's fear of cockroaches. And to indicate the great extent of the truth of this statement with an example, we begin the next sentence with so much so that, followed by the example. In this way, the idiom so much so that can be used both in the middle and at the beginning of a sentence. That's it for today. Hopefully you liked the video. Please be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. And do not forget to click the notification bell for more grammar content. Thanks for watching.